Welcome, Vegas newbies, Vegas vets, and everyone in between. This is Josh with Big Slick Vegas, and for today's video, we're just going to do kind of a brief video on tips when checking into your hotel. Now, first, I want to say is what it would be the best time to check into your hotel. Now, once again, if you're flying into Vegas, you're often at the mercy of the schedules of the airlines, whichever airline you happen to be taking in. But if you do have a choice, or if you're driving in, I think it's best to kind of get in there right about midday, probably any time between right around the noon, if not earlier. Reason being is you're not going to, at that time, normally you're not going to have long lines to deal with when getting in. And even though your room's probably not going to be ready, because most hotels they'll advertise their check-in time for either 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, but it's still good to get in there early. At least most of them will let you go ahead and check in, and then what they'll do is they'll send you a text or email letting you know that your room is ready. Sometimes some places will go ahead and give you your key cards, and then when they go ahead and text you to let you know your room is ready, they'll let you know what that room number is, or if there's different towers of that complex, which tower to go to. So that's a good way of doing it. Now, some places, depending on the mood of the person checking you in, will sometimes just tell you to come back around 3 o'clock or whatever. Which, in which case, you're once again going to be running into long lines. But most of the time, they will go ahead and do the first thing where they'll just go ahead and get you checked in and get you ready. This you would think they would go ahead and do that just because that's just less people they have to deal with later in the afternoon as check-in lines get a lot longer. And then what you can do from there is just take your bags, just check them into the bell desk. And what they'll do is they'll hold on to your luggage, they'll give you a ticket, and then when your room's ready, you can either go there to pick up your luggage or just have them bring them up to your room. Either way, you want to make sure once you pick up your luggage to tip them. If you're just picking up there at that station there, then I would say maybe one, maybe $2 per piece of luggage. If they're actually delivering them to your room, then maybe $3 to $5 per piece of luggage. At least that's what I normally do, but do make sure to tip them. But there's also some other ways you can check in. A lot of hotels now have these self-serve kiosks where basically you scan your driver's license, your credit card that's on file, and they'll go ahead and assign you your room key and your room number. And they'll do that right there, providing the room's ready anyway. Then there's also some that will have mobile check-in, where if you have a mobile app to, say, MGM Resorts or Caesars Rewards, you can go ahead and check in on your phone, and they'll issue what's called on your phone a digital key. Now, there's two things I don't like about the digital keys. One, the one time I've done this, and this was last summer at Mandalay Bay, it did not work. I had the digital key, said my room was ready. Digital key did not work. Couldn't use it to access the elevators, let alone my own room. So I still had to go down the lobby and try and get a physical key. Fortunately, I did. Eventually, actually, my wife found a kiosk where we could print a key out for us. So if you are going to go with the digital key, then make sure you still get a physical key at some point. Another thing I don't like about those two is suppose you're going up to your room, it's late at night, and your phone's dead. Then how exactly you're going to get into your room if that happens? So, like I said, I'll reiterate this again. Make sure you still have a physical key on you, even if you also have the digital key. Another thing you can have to be wary of if you do get to your hotel early before check-in and they do happen to have the room ready for you, they may want to charge you an early check-in fee, which can range from about $25 to $50. Just for it's just that one-time fee. That's really up to you whether or not you want to pay the extra money to avoid the long lines later. I myself would not have a problem doing that. If it means it's less time waiting in lines, then yeah, sure, by all means, I'll go ahead and do that. Now, another thing that often you may have heard of, it's all over social media, is what's called the $20 trick. So what is that? That is when you check in in person with someone, they'll of course ask for your credit card and your driver's license. What you do is you take that, you take a $20 bill, fold it in between your driver's license and credit card, and what you can do is just simply ask them, are there any complimentary upgrades available for today? If there are, oftentimes they will go ahead and take that. And if there's a room they can upgrade you to, maybe something with a that's bigger, maybe a better view, or even a suite, they'll normally go ahead and do that. Not always. It just kind of depends on the time of the week and if there's a holiday or something going on. I've done this, tried this twice. It worked once on a Sunday at Bally's, and then the last time I tried it was at the Cosmopolitan early one morning, in which case it also happened to be the 4th of July. So obviously they didn't have any rooms really that they could upgrade me to. But either way, I appreciated the effort, and they still checked me in early, didn't charge me a check-in fee, or I even asked for a late checkout and they didn't charge me extra for that. I just went ahead and let the front desk agent keep the $20 anyway, which I would do either way. If as long as they make the effort, I'm still gonna go ahead and tip them. If they are able to get me into like a big suite of some kind, then I might even tip them extra. Now, some people will say you don't even need to give them the 20 ahead of time. Just simply kindly ask them, and if they do it, they do it, and then you can go ahead and tip them if you wish afterwards. I would always recommend people who work the front desk at these hotels. It's a hard job, and I don't think they make a whole heck of a lot of money in most of these resorts. So anytime you can brighten their day up, giving them, tipping them a 20 spot, I think they'd appreciate it. It might help the rest of their day go a little bit better. So that's essentially what that is. I don't really like calling it the $20 trick. Just seems it's really not a trick anymore because everyone knows about it. I kind of refer to it as just the $20 upgrade request, more or less. Now, what are some of the worst times to check into your hotel? Obviously, later in the afternoon, between about when the normal check-in time is, around 3 or 4 o'clock, and a little bit before. The lines are going to be very long normally at that time. Most resorts, some resorts do a good job of moving the line through. Cosmopolitan's normally really good about that. So is I think the Aria has a good reputation. The Bellagio and the Venetian all have, and the Wynn. All of your upscale ones are normally pretty good about moving the line through. But some of the other ones, it may take a while. That's why you may want to consider going ahead and doing the check-in kiosks. I know that Friday nights are probably the worst night to try and check in anytime after 3. So if you are coming up for the weekend, definitely try and get there early on a Friday if possible. One thing too, or you could come really later in the evening, around 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, if that's when your flight's coming in. You shouldn't have too big of a line. The only problem with that is it's kind of like not much of a vacation to start off when you're spending X amount of dollars for just a few hours as you're coming in later in the evening. So those are just some tips there on when you should check in and the different ways you can check in. And so I hope this helps you out on your upcoming Vegas vacation, whenever that happens to be. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you.